The story of the movie begins when we see Alice, who works as a social media manager for a company that manufactures medicines. These days, she had to go to another city for work, so she was staying at a motel for the night. It was 2 a.m. when she received a call from her husband, Eric. Alice quickly went to the bathroom. Eric loved Alice very much and asked about her well-being. Then he reminded her that they had an appointment with a fertility doctor tomorrow. Although Eric took good care of her, they both wanted a child, so they were undergoing treatment. But it was also bad that Alice was cheating on her husband. She had a colleague, John, with whom Alice had physical relations. When he comes to the bathroom, Alice quickly hangs up the call so that Eric cannot know. They both had to reach their respective homes by morning, so they both got into their cars and started their journey. As they go further, they realize that John's car is running out of fuel. He was surprised because he had refueled it just yesterday. But Alice mocks him. As they were on their way, a gas station was coming up, so they decided to stop there. There was enough fuel to make it there. John started refueling, and Alice went into the storeroom to get coffee for herself. John notices a big billboard that reads, "God is nowhere." It also shows that the car is leaking fuel, which was why the car ran out of fuel. After refueling, John gets back into the car, plays some music, and waits for Alice. Alice gets her coffee but feels a bit strange as there is no one at the store. She feels a bit uneasy, so she leaves the money at the counter. Just then, she notices blood on the floor, which makes her feel uncomfortable, and she starts moving towards the door. But before she could leave the store, a gunshot is fired, and Alice's hand gets injured. She falls down. John is in the car with the music playing loudly, so he can't hear the gunshot. Alice is in pain, and another shot is fired, which changes her suspicion into certainty that someone is trying to kill her. Alice screams for help, but John is in the car with the music playing so loud that he can't hear Alice's voice. Alice was quite panicked in the store, as her hand was bleeding heavily, so she wraps it with a cloth. Then she tries to go outside, but another gunshot is fired, and Alice falls silent. She realizes that it's a sniper hiding somewhere near the bell booth. Alice finds herself in a strange situation. If she gets up, she might be shot, and the only person who can help her, John, is sitting in the car outside. However, she remembers that when she fell, her phone also fell to the ground, so she thought of retrieving it. But she was in such a position that the sniper could see her. Anyway, Alice still tries to slowly reach out for her phone. Before she could pick up the phone, the sniper shoots it in one shot. Alice's hope fades away. Now she pauses, thinks, and looks for another way out. Upon looking around, she noticed a back door of the store, but reaching there wasn't easy. She hears noise from the front table where a radio was placed. But the problem was that the place was within the sniper's range. If Alice goes there, she'll be shot. She plans to throw some bags of chips into the air. The sniper shoots, giving Alice the chance she needed. She quickly rushes towards the radio and picks it up. She tries to contact. A man's voice is heard asking for help from the police and explaining his situation. The man was asking about his wife named Amelia. In the store, Alice didn't see any other woman. On the other hand, John was shown in a car. He notices that his car is running out of fuel again. He gets out of the car and checks, only to find out that there's a hole in his fuel tank, causing the fuel to deplete quickly. Alice didn't return, so he goes to the store. Alice was still trying to contact the man when suddenly she saw John. She doesn't get a chance to warn him of the danger. The sniper shoots John first in the throat. He falls to the ground and struggles. Then the sniper shoots him in the head, finishing the story of John. Alice watches all this horrific incident, and after this terrible accident, she cries a lot but feels helpless. The radio fell from her hand, which she picked up again. Her contact is made with the same person again. This time, Alice tells him her name and what happened in the store. The man calls the police and tells Alice that help will arrive for her in 15 minutes. Upon hearing this, Alice feels a bit relieved, but shortly after, she hears laughter on the radio from the man claiming he was the one who killed John. Shocked, Alice switches off the radio and realizes the real killer is out to get her. Her mind races, trying to figure out how to save herself. With the store well lit, she searches for the switchboard to darken the place, increasing her chances of survival. Finding it, she begins tossing things towards it but struggles to turn it off. She manages to reach the switchboard, however, the sniper continues firing shots. Luckily, Alice survives and finally manages to turn off the lights, increasing her odds of survival. She tries the radio again, attempting to contact someone else, but the frequency is only connected to the killer. He says that there is no one here except for me and my wife, Amelia. That's when Alice sees the body of a woman in the corner, who was actually Amelia, already killed by the sniper. He says that I killed my wife because she was betraying me. Hearing this, Alice gets scared because she, too, was betraying her husband. Now Alice starts to suspect that maybe the killer is after her because she is also a deceitful woman. It will remain a secret for Alice. After a while, Alice sees a car arriving at the gas station and a man getting out of the car and entering the store. The man's name was Doc, and he was actually Amelia's friend who had come to pick her up. But she didn't see him. When Alice sees Doc, she tells him to hide, saying that there is a sniper trying to kill them. The man quickly hides in a place. Doc says that he has come to pick up Amelia, but Alice tells him that Amelia has been killed by her husband. Doc is very surprised to hear this. He says that Amelia was not even married. He quickly goes behind the counter. As time passes and there is no movement, Alice starts to suspect him because there has been no movement since Doc entered the store. Holding a hammer in his hand now, Alice starts to ask him questions, but Doc says that he is not the killer. He came to pick up Amelia because they were both going to the graveyard for the night shift. When Alice tells him to call for help, Doc says he forgot his phone in the car. Doc tries hard to convince her that he is not the killer, but Alice is in a dilemma. She doesn't know who to trust and who not to. Since there has been no contact from Alice on the radio for quite some time, it's possible that Doc is the killer. Alice tells him to go to his car and call the police from his phone, which would prove whether he's the killer or not. If he wasn't the killer and went outside, he would surely be shot. Doc is forced to go get his phone, but as soon as he goes out, shots are fired. His phone is also shot down, and later Doc is also found dead. Alice feels terrible realizing that what Doc was saying was true, and now he's dead. Alice could have kept him with her, could have saved him. But the truth was that for her own selfish reasons, Alice got him killed, and now even her chances of survival are gone. A while later, the sniper contacts Alice on the radio and accuses her of being the killer, saying she let that poor man die, knowing he would be killed. He reveals that he knows a lot about her. He attended the convention where she was sending out medicines that actually cause death in humans. Alice explains that she only works for a company that manufactures medicine, but the sniper angrily accuses her of being the one who sells them, calling her a selfish woman. He also tells her that he knows everything about her company, alleging that she falsely accused a poor employee of trying to get close to her. The man was fired from his job. He worked to earn money to treat his sick daughter. While Alice denies all this, she looks around and sees many cameras. Now she starts to wonder who this man could be. If he's only after Alice, then why did he kill Amelia? Is he just here because Alice got trapped here by mistake, or was this whole trap set up for her? Anyway, Alice was talking to him, but she was also keeping an eye around because she wanted to reach the exit door. When the sniper suspects them, he starts shooting again. Luckily, Alice managed to reach the exit door, but there was a lock on it. Alice tries to break it, but her hand was injured, so she couldn't open the lock. For a while, she relaxes, and then a car arrives at the gas station. A man enters his credit card to refuel, but due to some malfunction, he can't refuel. He leaves, and the sniper also doesn't shoot, indicating that the killer only targets those who know his plans. Alice thinks quickly and talks to him on the radio, begging for her life and explaining she can't have children, sharing about her relationship. The sniper calls her a deceitful woman, claiming the world will be more beautiful without her. As Alice hears the siren of a police car during the conversation, she drives past the gas station without stopping, realizing the sniper's attention will be on the police car. She runs outside towards John's car, and as the sniper tries to shoot her, she's forced to return to the store. But as she's about to return to the store, a bullet hits her leg, causing her severe pain. She struggles and faints but quickly regains consciousness, hastily cleaning her wound and bandaging it with duct tape. Then she finds a box there with the name Henry on it, along with a man's shirt and some pictures, including ones with him and his daughter. Alice begins to suspect that he might be the same man who falsely accused her, resulting in the death of her daughter. She tries to talk to him, apologizing, but the sniper remains silent for a while and then asks who Henry is, suggesting he might not be Henry. Shortly after, a car arrives with an elderly man coming out to refuel his car, but he notices the dead body of the doc. Before he can leave, the sniper shoots him, and his wife, who was in the car, witnesses it. As she steps out for help, the sniper shoots her too. Although Alice gestures for her to run or hide, they are both killed mercilessly, and Alice can do nothing. She cries a lot as the killer tells her that when she has a child, they will also be like her, a deceiver, which is why Alice deserves to die. In anger, she retorts that she's not like him. He's a monster, a coward who kills innocents in the dark. As she confronts him, her attention is drawn to the car where the old couple was, with a little girl named Sandy. Alice signals for Sandy to stay in the car, then pleads with the killer not to harm the child. He responds that he would have already done it if he wanted to. He then asks Alice if she's willing to sacrifice her life for the child. Alice agrees, and the killer gives her 2 minutes to save the child's life. Alice quickly writes a note for her, telling Sandy to run towards the street. Sandy obeys, but the darkness was overwhelming, and she was scared with no clue. So, she runs back towards Alice. Alice quickly picks her up, instilling courage in her. Now, with no other way, she blocks the store's door. She starts cutting the lock with a crowbar, which is securing the exit door. Eventually, even the killer comes down from the billboard and approaches the door with a gun. As he advances towards them, he shoots at the door. However, Alice successfully manages to cut the lock before he could reach them. But as soon as she goes through the door, she becomes disappointed because there was another shutter with a strong lock. There was not enough time to cut or break that lock. Time was running short, so for her defense, she quickly improvised a weapon. She was preparing to confront the killer. She hides Sandy in one place, and by the time the killer arrives at the store, he asks Alice if she knows who he is. Whether she remembers the false accusation she made against him, the one whose daughter died. Or if he is the one who suffered losses from her company's medicines. Or perhaps, he is a killer preying on vulnerable women. Alice was hidden, and the killer was searching for her when suddenly Alice attacks him from behind and stabs him in the abdomen with a sharp object. However, this doesn't kill him. Instead, he starts attacking Alice. She tries to defend herself, but as she removes his mask, a gunshot is heard. Alice falls to the ground, and the killer advances towards Sandy. Just as he is about to find her, Alice comes from behind, and with whatever strength she has left, she attacks the killer relentlessly, bringing him close to the hydraulic machine. She starts the machine, intending to crush the killer's face, and the machine crushes his head. Alice sits there, covered in blood, feeling bad because she'll never know who the killer really was, and with this question in mind, Alice dies. And the audience, too, is left without any answers. As morning comes, Sandy leaves the gas station and starts walking along the roadside. She was the last human survivor of this dreadful night, and right there, the story ends. I hope you have liked this movie recap. Please like, share and subscribe for more real recap.